hosting virtual summits that don't suck should be in your number one priority if you're going to be hosting an event this 2025 and beyond. I know that you've attended summits and conferences and virtual events that absolutely suck and they're terrible. And you go into their experience, you see their links, and you're like, why should I even join? All right? So, why should I even join? And then you join because you saw a speaker that you liked, but then the experience was subpar and you wasted your time. If you've ever felt this way, I understand why you're hesitating in hosting your own summit. So let me give you the antidote on how to create summits that actually are fun, irresistible, and a 5-star experience. My name is Anna Andrea. I am an event producer. I support my clients, expert coaches, speakers, membership owners, course creators in creating 5-star experiences for their audiences so that they feel cared for, they feel so that they learn, so that they have a transformation, and they get to know you, like you, and trust you. Plus, I help them so that they get to know you, like you, and trust you, and obviously make some profit. So I'm gonna give you 5 tips. This is the antidote to summits that suck. So the first thing that you need to do in order for your summits to not suck is to be very specific about your topic of the event. Be very niche specific. Curate the content so that it is something that your audience wants to learn about and wants to attend. And you bring people together and build an email list that's actually interested in what you have to sell. All those general topics should go in la poubelle, in the trash. No more general topics, no more summits about affiliates or branding or big topics like funnels. We gotta go specific. The more specific, the better, especially if you're hosting your virtual summit. If it's online, the more specific, the more you're going to attract the right fit client. In-person summits can still get away with the affiliate summit or the branding summit or the content summit, but virtually, you don't have that luxury because people can sign off and not come back because they thought it was about something and then it wasn't about that thing. In an in-person event, people can stop going to the event, but if they flew there and they paid for the hotel and they paid for the ticket, they're gonna be there, right? But with a virtual summit, you don't have that luxury. So make it as specific as possible, as niched as possible, and trust me, the right fit clients are gonna start flocking and coming in. The second antidote for summits that suck is to gamify it. When you gamify your event, when you create a game, an experience that takes people from one step to another, when they win prizes, when you make a experience that actually involves people and people are having fun and they're laughing and they're connecting with their other audience and other attendees, they're gonna be happy and excited and they're going to feel so grateful of attending your event because they had fun. Fun is the most underrated thing that I see across the industry. I don't see anybody doing something super fun. A lot of you have hosted summits if you're watching this and you're like thinking, but Anna, I've hosted a summit and I had a bingo. Okay, sure. I mean, a bingo is a good way to gamify it, but can we be a little bit more creative? Like, for example, can we do like a scavenger hunt quest or a trivia, or have something inside the bingo that actually is another game. You can invent your own card game. You can invent your own, what's it called? Your own, you can create your own quest and have people be engaged throughout the whole event. A bingo is not gonna cut it if it doesn't have this extra things that are motivating people to actually participate. Now, it is your first step of gamifying it, so I congratulate you if you've been doing this for your summits, but now it's time to evolve and create something even more fun. The third antidote for summits that suck is to create a user-friendly technology experience. And I said it this slowly so that you get it into your head. If people are jumping from one link to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, they're gonna get frustrated and they're gonna leave. If people click on the link and it doesn't work, they're gonna leave. If everybody is commenting on something and they don't know how to access it, they're gonna leave. If the experience makes people jump through hoops, they're gonna leave. So you gotta make sure that your tech is user-friendly. All the software tools that you use should be user-friendly. You should have the least amount of learning curve inside of your virtual summits and virtual experiences. And you should use tools that people are already familiar with, if possible, of course. If not possible, you teach your audience how to use it and you create a video and tutorials and step-by-steps, and you are more involved in asking people if they know how to manage it, and you answer all of the questions possible and you serve them at the level that they're at. It's so important that we do that. Antidote number 4. I already talked about this a little in antidote number 1. The content. The content needs to flow. It needs to build up. It cannot be a scramble of topics from like ping pong. The content flow has to go from one step to another, to another, to another. So let's say, for example, if you're hosting an event about creating funnels that convert. If that's the topic, then you're going to bring in speakers from what you need to create a funnel, an offer, right? Then you need to create graphics, you need to create copywriting, you need to have a software that creates the funnels, you probably need some color theory, some branding, some graphic design, etc., right? It adds up. It goes from A to Z. Or Z for my English. If it doesn't build up and the content doesn't flow, it's gonna feel like a cocktail that was not poured correctly, and it's gonna taste bitter instead of sweet. We need it to be a cocktail that mixes, and then at the end, it gives people a result if they apply every single tip that was given inside of your summit. That is super important when you are creating our content, when we're choosing our speakers, etc., etc. Antidote number 5, connection, connection, connection. Ask everybody that goes to an event what is the most important thing for them. The most important thing for every single attendee at every single event across industries is to meet like-minded people. Yes, it sounds cliche in the marketing world, but when we meet people that think like us, that want to learn the same thing as us, we create connection. And when we create connection, when we create an event that builds connection, we're creating a safe space so that your audience can thrive, can make more money, create joint ventures, and build friendships. When we give that safe space for our audience in a virtual summit experience as well, we are the place to be online. If we don't create the spaces, what's going to happen is that they're going to self-study and not be engaged inside of the community. But also, do not forget your speakers. Your speakers also create connection. They're also human beings. Wow. Right? So create spaces where speakers can connect with each other, where attendees and speakers connect with each other, and when speakers can go ahead and connect with the host, as well as the attendees connect to the host. So you're creating a safe space. Now, how do you do this? Well, you can have co-working calls, you can have networking calls, you can have panel calls in the middle of the event, in the middle of the summit. You could also create pods and channels inside of your community. There's so many ways, and you can use gamification for these connections as well. Think about it. It would be super cool. And that brings me to antidote number 6. Be intentional. Be intentional with everything. Be intentional with the topic. Be intentional with your words. Be intentional with your copy. Be intentional with your marketing. Be intentional with your speakers, with your content, with your tech. All throughout the whole experience, be intentional. And the last antidote number 7, is that you're going to forbid pitch fests inside of the summit sessions. Your speakers should never be allowed to create a session that's only pitching their program or pitching their freebie. The sessions have to be, that's a requirement that you need to have in your speaker requirements, that they have to teach one topic, and inside the topic, they have to give actionable steps so that your audience can go ahead and implement them without having to buy the speaker's thing. If you are not strict about this in your summit sessions and you don't have the guts to tell your speakers, hey, I'm sorry, I watched the session, but I'm gonna have to ask you to re-record it because it felt like a pitch fest and this is not allowed here. You obviously set expectations from the beginning. This is key, and this is an extra antidote. Always set expectations for your speakers, for your attendees, for your sponsors, for your affiliates, for every human resource you're going to use. Always, for every human resource that you're going to connect with and participate with in your event, they need to have the expectations set up correctly. Because if you do not set expectations, what happens is that people get disappointed. That's how it is. So to avoid disappointment, we set expectations. So this is how you create virtual summits that don't suck. If you like this type of content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.